They did. And we didn't have no record deal. It's like, yo, I'm gonna get y'all a deal. I don't know where I thought that was gonna come from, but I got them a record deal. They was the first rap group, actually, to ever sign a major deal in Atlanta. And then when Silk Times Leather, I was making a project. I got enough little money to put a drum machine on layaway. So I put the Roland 505 on layaway, right? And I was just telling Bryan this backstage. When you make in the Roland 505 or any one of them 727s or one of them, the sounds is what it is. You can't do anything with the sounds. You gotta make it sound the best that you can make it by tweaking it or EQ or whatever it is. It's just that's what it is. So I created basically on a 505, and it sounded better in my mind than what actually you probably was hearing, right? I'm like, oh, this is gonna be 808, this is gonna be a little snare, this is, and then I got an opportunity to go to a studio with somebody else that was helping me with the project, and I would go to the studio and I'd tell them, I want this is the beat I made in my 505. I want you to transfer it into those sounds that's in that drum machine. I don't even remember what drum machine he had, but that's what I used to tell him. And at that time, I wasn't hands-on. I would make a beat in the 505, but I didn't really know nothing else about anything else in the studio. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to do it. And that's actually what pushed me to become a full-fledged producer. And then once I started playing with more of the equipment that was in the studio, I think more money came from my little advance from Silk Times Leather, and I bought an N-Sonic EPS. And when I bought the N-Sonic EPS, my mind went crazy, because I was like, oh, I could do what I want to do. This shit is crazy, right? So I started playing with the EPS. I don't even think I went to sleep. I was just making beats, playing with it, then my shit broke.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. And it broke, and I went back, and there was Guitar Center was called Rhythm City at this time, right? So I went back to Rhythm City, and I was like, I need another one of them. They said they stopped making them. I'm like, whoa, oh shit, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, they don't make that no more. And I'm like, I just learned how to work this, and they don't make it no more, and I gotta make an album, right? So then the dude was like, well, if you like workstations, you should get this one. And he introduced me to a W30, right? That shit was whack. Like it was not that EPS. It wasn't the EPS. Got the W30, and I started trying to make the W30 do what the EPS was doing. It was hard as hell, but I was fighting through it because that's all I had. And then out of nowhere comes this MPC 60, and the dude from Rhythm City called me, say, you should get this. And lights.
And that was the era of floppy disks as well, by the way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Painful. Bryan, what was it for you?
I mean, for me, started in church, playing in church, and, coming up as a kid doing that, and then always, my mom always had one foot in the club, one foot in the church. So I'd be at church on Sundays, and my mom, just bringing home records every week. We had a record store called Soundwave.
Oh.
And she records every week. She had new hits, and that's how my love for music came through my mother's love for, you know what I'm saying? And growing up, playing piano, wanted to write songs, I wanted to be like Teddy Riley, wanted to be like Jimmy Jam, wanted to be like Babyface, like you said, you have an imagination, that's what it was initially. And then, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but in the 90s, it was like a surge of really young creatives, like young artists. All the producers were young, like everybody was like in they were like teenagers, but making like hit records. And I remember being like, you'd see like a Criss Cross video, and you'd be like, I'm the same age as him. Like, oh, I could do that. Monica, see, these young artists. Like, so my mind, me and my crew, my friends, we all felt like it wasn't that far-fetched for us to like go after story short, I ended up getting a mentor by the name of Grant Curtis, and he kind of taught me the studio, what the studio meant, what the studio looked like. No, now all this is happening in Houston. Graduate high school, and it's time for life to happen. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go, am I going to go to college? Am I going to go, whatever. And I decided to move to Atlanta, and I went to college there. I only used that as an excuse to go because I was like, I'm going to go make it in the music business, you know what I mean? And I decided to come to called Noontime. And then from there, I met two guys named Bryan and Brandon Casey, the twins from Jagged Edge. I met them, and we started making music together. And then from there, they came and played the music for him. And then that's how me and him connected. And I made the second Jagged Edge album.
Amazing. So when did you start using the MPC on your productions?
When I moved to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So before that, I would see MPCs around. I worked at Guitar Center in Houston. So I would see MPCs